हरेः वैर अनुबंधकृत हरेर्वैरानुबंधकृत इति घोरतमद्भावात् सन्निवृत्त स्वयं प्रभुः आस्ते प्रतीक्षंस्तज्जन्म हरेर्वैरानुबंधकृत इति घोरतमद्भावात् सन्निवृत्त स्वयं प्रभुः आस्ते प्रतीक्षंस्तज्जन्म हरेर्वैरानुबंधकृत. Iti. Thus, thinking in the above mentioned way, Gauratamat Bhavat from the most ghastly contemplation of how to kill his sister, Sannivrittaha refrained, Swayam personally deliberating, Prabhuhu one who was in full knowledge, Kamsa Aste remained, Pratikshan awaiting the moment, Tat Janma until the birth of him, Harehe of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari Vaira Anubandhakrit determined to continue such enmity. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Vaicharana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Shukadeva Goswami said, deliberating in this way, Kamsa, although determined to continue in enmity toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead, refrained from the vicious killing of his sister. He decided to wait until the Lord was born and then do what was needed. Can I repeat the translation? Shukadeva Goswami said, deliberating in this way, Kamsa, although determined to continue in enmity toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead, refrained from the vicious killing of his sister. He decided to wait until the Lord was born and then do what was needed. I will read text 24 myself. Asina samvisham sthishtan bhunjana paryatan mahim chintayano hrishikesham apashyat tanmayam jagat. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. While sitting on his throne or in his sitting room, while lying on his bed, or indeed while situated anywhere, and while eating, sleeping or walking, Kamsa saw only his enemy, the Supreme Lord, Rishikesha. In other words, by thinking of his all-pervading enemy, Kamsa became unfavorably Krishna conscious. Purport. Srila Rupa Goswami has described the finest pattern of devotional service as Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam, or cultivating Krishna consciousness favorably. Kamsa, of course, was also Krishna conscious, but because he regarded Krishna as his enemy, even though he was fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, his Krishna consciousness was not favorable for his existence. Krishna consciousness favorably cultivated makes one completely happy, so much so that a Krishna conscious person does not consider Kaivalya Sukham, or merging into the existence of Krishna, to be a great gain. Kaivalyam narakayate. For a Krishna conscious person, even merging into the existence of Krishna or Brahman, as impersonalists aspire to do, is uncomfortable. Kaivalyam narakayate tidashapur akasha pushpayate. Karmis hankered to be promoted to the heavenly planets, but a Krishna conscious person considers such promotion a will-o'-the-wisp, good for nothing. Durdantendriya kala sarpa patali protkata damshtrayate. Yogis try to control their senses and thus become happy. But a Krishna conscious person neglects the methods of yoga. He is unconcerned with the greatest of enemies, the senses, which are compared to snakes. For a Krishna conscious person who is cultivating Krishna consciousness favorably, the happiness conceived by the karmis, jnanis, and yogis is treated as less than a fig. Kamsa, however, because of cultivating Krishna consciousness in a different way, that is, inimically, was uncomfortable in all the affairs of his life, whether sitting, sleeping, walking, or eating. He was always in danger. This is the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee. A non-devotee or atheist also cultivates God consciousness by trying to avoid God in everything. For example, so-called scientists who want to create life by a combination of chemicals regard the external material elements as supreme. Such scientists do not like the idea that life is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. As clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita, Mamayavamsho jivaloke jivabhutaha. The living entities do not arise from a combination of material elements such as earth, water, air and fire, but are separated portions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one can understand the position of the living entity as a separated portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by studying the nature of the living entity, one can understand the nature of the Supreme Godhead, since the living entity is a fragmental sample of the Godhead. But because atheists are not interested in God consciousness, they try to be happy by cultivating Krishna consciousness in various unfavorable ways. Although Kamsa was always absorbed in thoughts of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was not happy. A devotee, however, whether sitting on a throne or beneath a tree, is always happy. Srila Rupa Goswami resigned from office as a government minister to sit beneath a tree, yet he was happy. Tyaktva turnamasesha mandalapati shrenim sada tuchchavat. Shad Goswami Ashtaka, verse number 4. He did not care for his comfortable position as minister. He was happy even beneath a tree in Vrindavan, favorably serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee. For a non-devotee, the world is full of problems, whereas for a devotee, the entire world is full of happiness. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate Vidhi Mahendradishcha Kitayate Yat Karunya Kataksha Vaibhavavatam Tam Gauram Evastumaha. Reference from Chaitanya Chandramrita, verse 95. This comfortable position of a devotee can be established by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yasmin sthito na dukkena gurunapi vichalyate. Bhagavad Gita 6.22. Even when a devotee is superficially put into great difficulty, he is never disturbed. Thus ends the Bhaktivinoda purport and translation to Canto 10, Chapter 2, texts 23 and 24 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Iti Swayam Prabhu. So Shukadeva Goswami continued the narration of Krishna's appearance to Parikshit Maharaj. Is saying what happened when Mother Devaki was pregnant for the 8th time, bearing Lord Krishna within her womb. So we saw in the earlier verses how Kamsa could sense something special in Devaki, that she was radiating brilliance. Then he understood that this is certainly because Lord Krishna has taken shelter in her womb. And he was very definite that Krishna is going to take birth very soon. So then initially he thought, let me kill Devaki immediately so that the child will not be born. And the child is God, Krishna. But later on he thought, no, I should not kill my sister. Why? So that's been described here. Iti Swayam Prabhu. Deliberating in this way. In what way? That is described in the few verses earlier. Kamsa thought, Lord Krishna or Vishnu will achieve his purpose at any cost. He will never give up his Vikramam Pravas. So how did Kamsa desist from the thought of killing his sister? He thought like this: Devaki is a woman and she is my own sister and she is also pregnant. So therefore it is not proper to kill Devaki. He further considered, if I still kill her, it will disturb my reputation, my opulence, and my duration of life will be reduced. So Kamsa was also considering in this way. Okay, that's what the Vedas say. If you offend or disturb a devotee of the Lord, particularly a devotee of the Lord, then, or even the Lord, but especially the devotee of the Lord, then you will reduce your lifespan. You will reduce in your opulence, and you will also lose your reputation. Then comes a further considered. A cruel person is regarded as dead even while living. So if I kill my sister, certainly I will be doing the most cruel act. And such cruel persons are considered dead even though living. For while he is living or after his death, everyone condemns him. And after death, he will undoubtedly be transferred to the hell known as Andatama. So Kamsa also knew, I am going to go to hell. So Kamsa believed in heaven and hell. Even though being a demon, still he believed. So this is the deliberation Kamsa was doing, what is referred in this verse. Iti swayam prabhuhu, deliberating in this way. He was analyzing the pros and cons, the effects of this act of killing his sister at the time when she is pregnant. So he was considering, he was analyzing, deeply thinking the consequences. Is it going to be favorable or unfavorable to me? So deliberating in this way. So although he was deliberating about killing of Devaki, still see the contrasting nature of the demon mentioned by Shukadeva Goswami in these words. See, at one side we are seeing he is deliberating, should I kill my sister or not? No, it is not good. I'll go to hell. It is sinful to kill my sister. She is pregnant. I'll be considered cruel. People will condemn me. All these things is considering. Looks to be little saintly, right? But you see the other hand, how Kamsa is thinking. Shukadeva Goswami says, Harer Vaira Anubandhakrit. Although he desisted from killing his sister, still Harihi, the Supreme Lord Hari, Vaira Anubandhakrit, he maintained his enmity towards Krishna simultaneously. He didn't give up his enmity towards the Lord. See this demonic nature? Very contrasting. One side looks to be good, like a sadhu, is considering, I should not kill. On the other side, he continues to maintain his enmity towards the Supreme Lord. Harer Vaira Anubandhakrit. Anubandha, very strange Anubandha. Anubandha means supposed to be a very close relationship. Bandha, relation. Anubandha means very intimate relationship. But here the relationship is one of Vaira Anubandhakrit. Krit means the act of maintaining a relation. The act of. So Krit. Anubandha. What kind of relation he maintained? Vaira Anubandhakrit. A relationship of enmity towards the Supreme Lord. So, Iti Swayam Prabhu, deliberating in this way, Kamsa continued to maintain his enmity towards the Supreme Lord. Harer Vaira Anubandhakrit. Yet, Sannivrittaha, Ghoratamad Bhavat. Yet he, Sannivrittaha means to desist from, to avoid. Ghoratamad Bhavat. He refrained from the vicious killing of his sister. Ghoratamat Bhavat. From the ghastly thought of killing his sister. Bhavat is an emotion, the emotion of ghora, ghastliness. Goratama, Gora, Goratara, Goratama. Shukadeva Goswami is using Goratama in the superlative degree. Goratamat Bhavat. So ghastly contemplation of how to kill his sister. Somebody will think how to marry my sister, how to take care of my sister, how to please my sister. Comes and think how to kill my sister. That's why Shukadeva Goswami describes comes as Ghoratama Bhavat. He possessed a ghastly feelings towards his sister, not towards an enemy. Now you can imagine if a person like Kamsa is considering Krishna, who is actually the well-wishing friend of everyone. Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. Krishna himself is declaring, I am the best well-wishing friend of every jiva. Yet, if somebody considers even Krishna, the most well-wishing friend, to be his enemy, then who else will be spared from being his enemy? Naturally, Devaki also is his enemy. Anyone who does not support his idea, his plan to enjoy, he is an enemy. One who thinks like this is called a demon or an asura. So Kamsa is only a typical representative of a demon. A typical representative. So anybody who's interested only in sense gratification, being very, very selfish, to the degree that one can create enmity towards anyone, including the Supreme Lord, such a person is a demon. So, Goratamat Bhavat Sannivrittaha. So, for the time, so he refrained from killing his sister. What did he do? So, has he given up? He has given up killing his sister, the thought of killing his sister. What about the thought of killing Krishna? No. That he didn't refrain from. Therefore, it is described here, Aste pratikshana tat janma. Another contrasting feature you see. He avoided killing his sister, but Aste, he waited. Pratikshana. He waited for the opportune moment, tat janma, for the birth of Lord Krishna, and then decide his next steps, which is nothing but killing Krishna or God. Demons think like that. They can kill God. They think like that. Then what happened? So what was Kamsa's state of mind is described in the next verse. Asinaha. While he was sitting, samvisham. Or while he was lying on his bed, when he was sleeping, taking rest. Asinaha, samvisham, tishtan. Or while standing. So whether he is sitting comfortably on his throne, or he is standing, or he is sleeping in his bed. Bunjanaha, whether he is eating, while eating, paryatan, while walking or moving here and there. Mahim, while he is walking on the earth. Rishikesham apashyat tanmayam jagat. Apashyat tanmayam jagat Rishikesham. He was always apashyat, seeing. Tanmayam, fully absorbed, totally absorbed, obsessed. Rishikesham and Jagat. Two words are described. Two words are used in describing Krishna here. As one is Rishikesha, the other is Jagat. Meaning the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is the supreme controller of everything in this world. So, while sitting, standing, sleeping, walking, going hither and thither, eating, in all these activities, apashyat tanmayam jagat rishikesham, he was always seeing Krishna. Chintayanaha. But, although he was thinking of his all-pervading enemy called Krishna, Kamsa was unfavorably Krishna conscious. Unfavorably Krishna conscious. But he was thinking of Krishna in an unfavorable way. Why? Because he is waiting to kill the moment Krishna appears. Jai Krishna Balaram Gonita Prabhupada ki jai. So this is a very interesting position of Kamsa. That is where Bhagavatam has picked up this Leela of Kamsa. Bhagavatam presents very, very instructive episodes and histories of the past. Very, very selective and something very stunning and very striking How can a demon be Krishna conscious 24 hours? Yes, there is a case like that. There are many cases also Bhagavatam presents. This is one case which is taken up now. More cases will be taken up later. How even a demon can be Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. Sometimes we may wonder, as devotees we are not so much Krishna conscious. We'll come to that point also. This is a surprising twist. We'll see that. That also Bhagavatam talks about it. We'll shortly come to that. So let's analyze now. In general, the Shastras say, a pure devotee of the Lord, who's a Mahabhagavata, who's in the most advanced state of Krishna consciousness, highly developed in Krishna consciousness, fully developed in Krishna consciousness, he sees Krishna and nothing else. So there is a very nice verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, described by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, describing the position of a pure devotee very nicely. There he says, Sthavara Jangama Deke Na Deke Tara Murti Sarvatra Nijahaya Ishta Deva Spurti. So here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, although the pure devotee, Mahabhagavata, the best of the Paramahamsas, although he sees trees, mountains and other living entities moving here and there, Sthavara, Jangama. There are two kinds of things which we observe in this world. Some are moving, some are not moving. Isn't it? Just like we see trees, mountains, they're not moving. We see the rivers, living beings, they're moving. So two kinds of existence we see in our experience, Sthavara and Jangama. So Deke, Na Deke Taramurti. Although he is seeing these moving and non-moving things, but actually, what is he seeing? Na Deke Taramurti, he is actually seeing none other than Krishna. Na Deke Taramurti. Sarvatra Haya Nija Ishta Deva Spurti. He is only seeing his beloved, worshipful Lord. Ishta Deva Spurti. He is only seeing his beloved, worshipful Lord everywhere. Does not see anything else. Because he knows everything is the creation of God or Krishna. Shakti Shakti Mator Abhedaha. The Upanishads say there is no difference between the Lord and his energy. There is no difference. Like Prabhupada gives the example always about the sun and the sunshine. When you see the sun shine, you are actually seeing the sun. So if you see the sun shine and then say I am seeing the sun, you are right. Because sunshine is nothing but the rays emanating from the sun. There is no existence of the sunshine without the sun. Is there a possibility of sunshine without the sun? No. Therefore, sunshine is sun. There is no difference. So when you are seeing the sunshine, it's as good as seeing the sun. Similarly, when you see the creation of Krishna, the energy of Krishna being displayed in varied manifestations in this world, you are actually seeing Krishna only. Because it is Krishna's creation, not anyone else's. Bhumiraponola vayu kammano buddhirevacha ahankariti yamme binna prakriti rashtada. Krishna says that this entire cosmic manifestation is my creation. It's coming from me. Mattaha aham sarvasya prabhavaha mattaha sarvam pravartate. Krishna is saying everything is coming from me. I am the source. Therefore the devotee of the Lord is not wrong in seeing Krishna. He is not sentimental in telling that he is seeing Krishna and nothing else. Even though he is seeing a mountain or a river or land or sky, he is seeing Krishna. Because it is Krishna's. That is why. So Prabhupada says very nicely, although he sees trees, mountains and other living entities moving here and there, he sees all as the creation of the Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada makes an interesting point. With reference to the context, sees only the creator and not the created. With reference to the context. See what a beautiful expression Prabhupada has made. In other words, he no longer distinguishes between the created and the creator. He sees only the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything. And he sees Krishna in everything and everything in Krishna. This is oneness. Transcendental oneness. Not material oneness. So simultaneously Krishna is in everything and everything is in Krishna. Yet there is variety. Krishna and his creation. There is difference. Krishna and his energy. There is difference. Yet they are same. So, a Mahabhagavata or a pure devotee of the Lord is absorbed in Krishna 24 hours a day. His entire existence is filled with Krishna consciousness and nothing else. So this state is very rarely achieved. Very rarely achieved. Not easy. And the gopis are the epitome of this status of Mahabhagavata. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorified the gopis as Ramya Kachit Upasana Brajavadhu Vargena Ya Kalpita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorified the gopis in this way. He says that there is no better form of worship than that which is conceived by the gopis of Vrindavan. What is that better form of worship? It's conceived by the gopis. Very simple. It looks simple. Statement is simple. But existing in that state is very, very rare. It's possible only for gopis. There is no second to the gopis. Past, present and even future. There is no second to the gopis. Devotion to Krishna. Of course, one can follow in the footsteps of gopis and try to become the servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis. But one cannot imitate gopis' devotion. One can never come, even in future. There will be no one equal to the devotion of gopis. That is the super excellent devotion of the gopis to Krishna. And what is that? They are willing to sacrifice anything, to any degree, any extent, for the pleasure of Krishna, for the utmost satisfaction of Krishna. They can put their life into greatest risk possible if it is pleasing to Krishna. They can give up any kind of comfort and accept any kind of discomfort in their life if it is pleasing to Krishna. This is described as Anukula Bhakti. Prabhupada says here. Even when the devotee is superficially put into great difficulty, he is never disturbed. Very happily he will continue to serve Krishna. It's not easy. This state of devotion is not easy. If everything is going fine, our chanting goes fine, our reading goes fine, our seva to Krishna and Guru, Prabhupada goes fine. Some small disturbance is there. So it's quite difficult to continue our service and dedication to Krishna and Guru. Not easy. So we are in the neophyte level. We really don't come across these situations in life. If we can somehow make up our chanting, reading and stick to prasadam, it's a very big achievement as far as we are concerned. We will not be put into this kind of tests at all. It requires great determination to be able to endure difficulties, yet continue to please Krishna. Krishna is happy, then such devotees are very, very happy and they seek even more opportunities to serve Krishna, even if it is going to be very challenging and very difficult. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Krishna himself has put the gopis on the topmost position of among all devotees, including pure devotees and Paramahamsas. They are even above them, the gopis. Very special. The Prabhupada also quotes Bhagavad Gita. Yasmin sito na dukkena guruna api vichalyate. Tam vidya dukkha samyogam viyogam yoga samgnitam. The 6th chapter, Krishna describes this state of samadhi. Truly speaking, the state of samadhi is exemplified by a pure devotee, not actually a yogi or an Ashtanga yogi. Ashtanga yogi, he may be absorbed in the thought of the Lord as the Paramatma in one's heart or in his heart. But the position of the devotee or the state of samadhi of a devotee is par excellence. Par excellence. Because he is very intimately connected with Krishna in one of the favorable relationships which is approved by the acharyas. Serving Krishna in a favorable way, approved by the acharyas. So that is why. So the gopis are in the topmost position. So for such devotees, there is nothing like danger, difficulty. World is full of problems. Even for a devotee, even in devotional life, full of problems. They don't see any problem. The Prabhupada quotes, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate, quoted by Prabodhananda Saraswati. This is our standard of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate, Vidhi Mahendradishya Kitayate. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. This world is full of happiness because for a pure devotee of Krishna, he eagerly awaits the next moment to serve Krishna with the greatest of pleasure. Oh, I have another opportunity, another moment to serve Krishna. Another moment, an opportunity to serve Krishna. But externally, as far as the modes are concerned, dualistic nature of this world is concerned, it may create a happy situation or a very disastrous, calamitous situation. But that is as far as the material situation is concerned. But the devotee has nothing to do with material consideration. Therefore, Krishna said in the very beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, you are not the body, you are a spirit soul. That means you are not matter, you don't belong to the material world, material situation has nothing to do with your life as a spirit. Just imagine. We are so disturbed by the situations of this world, situation of our family, situation of my job, situation of my career, situation of my bank balance, my education, my society, my country, this world, the climate, etc., etc., etc. They're so concerned and so disturbed, so much in anxiety. The devotee has no such consideration. Because he is a realized soul. He knows, I have nothing to do with this material situation. Nothing to do with this material world, good or bad, praise or being criticized. None of these situations pertain to the soul or affect the soul. His existence is transcendental. Asangoyam Purushaha. The Vedas say Asanga Ayam Purushaha. Ayam means this. That means me. Purushaha means a person. Asangaha. He has no connection with this world, with his body, with the present situation, or even the future situation, or even the past situation. Because of your attachment to the material situation, we are affected. We are affected because of our attachment to the material situation. Because of material identity and identification, we are suffering. And this suffering is unnecessary. Unnecessary. Unnecessarily imposed upon oneself. And who is imposing? I am imposing it myself. By my wrong identification with the material body and material situation. And then we lament. And then we cry. Therefore, transcendentalist does not take compassion upon such ignorant souls. Nor does he take any relief measures materially. Because that is not your situation. You are in illusion. You are in ignorance. Instead of being absorbed in Krishna, we are absorbed in ignorance. Being affected both by comfortable and uncomfortable situation, by praise or by criticism. Being affected by all these dualities, we are not able to do our seva to our Lord. So ultimately, the prime thing we are losing, seva to our Lord and Guru. And stuck up with the details of the situations of this world, being affected by them. See? Success, failure. And this world is also, because Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, this world is also, the people in this world are absorbed in duality. We have taken birth in duality. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. We have taken birth in duality. That means from birth we are stuck up with this dual nature of this world. We are affected by the dual nature of this world, as we discussed now. So unless we get out of that, it's very difficult to become a devotee. So we have to work on this. And that working is Krishna consciousness. So we have to identify our spiritual nature. Revive our spiritual nature. Revive our spiritual nature. Our spiritual identity. That I belong to Krishna. So unless you understand and accept and understand this, there is no relief from material suffering or happiness or material anxiety. There is no relief. So day and night, that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings one song. Day and night my heart is burning in anxiety. Because we are absorbed in bodily concept of life. It's burning in anxiety. Day and night. So unless we become free from this bodily consciousness, I am this body, I am Indian, this is my family, I belong to this family, belong to this community, this caste, I am an Indian, American, Kannadiga, Keralite. Unless you give this bodily concept, the burning anxiety in your heart will never be put off. Never be put off. So until you identify yourself as a spirit, there is no relief for us. There is no relief. So therefore one has to seriously consider this Krishna consciousness process and take it very seriously. The chanting of Krishna's name. Take it very seriously. Then only we can get out of bodily concept. And the bodily situation. Temporary, incidental bodily situation. It is incidental. Although not accidental. So why are we stuck with incidental situations? Situation will change tomorrow. It's not the same. Family will change, society will change, country will change, body will change, the world will change. So why be too much obsessed with the situation, material situation, incidental situation, and give up the service of our Lord? So pure devotee of the Lord is always absorbed in the thought of the Lord. And so gopis, the best of the devotees. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna personally is recommending we should worship Krishna the way gopis have worshipped Krishna. Meaning, as we discussed earlier, that willing to sacrifice anything, seek the pleasure of Krishna, nothing else. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, an ideal Gaudiya Vaishnava, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he once said like this: even the greatest of difficulties will be the highest of my pleasure if it is pleasing to Krishna. So the great acharyas, very ideal, and they are shown by their example in this way. So we should try to follow in their footsteps, although not imitate them. Because this level of devotion is very, very difficult. But we have to seek their mercy and blessings, that following in their footsteps, we can develop a grain of such determination, such conviction in service to Krishna and Guru. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I accept the greatest of difficulties with the greatest of pleasure, if it is going to satisfy Krishna. But there is one interesting point made here in this verse. Kamsa also, you can see, 24 hours he was Krishna conscious, but in an unfavorable way. But Narada Muni says very nicely in Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 1st chapter. Actually, the chapter itself is called The Lord is Equal to Everyone. That's the chapter title. This is describing about the history of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj in 7th canto of Bhagavatam. So it begins itself by saying the Lord is equal to everyone. Because Parikshit Maharaj was confused, or rather astonished, about how Shukadeva Goswami is narrating Vishnu is equal to everyone. Because in 6th canto we saw the pastime how Lord Vishnu favored the demigods by distributing the nectar to the demigods and not the demons. We always know, by definition, by default, Vishnu always favors devotees, not demons. Then how is it that is equal to everyone? And we also know Vishnu killed Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. How is he equal? And he protected Prahlad. So how is he equal to everyone? So a doubt arose in Parikshit's mind. Parikshit Maharaj was very intelligent and very inquisitive listener. If at all somebody wants to perfect hearing process, one should learn it from Parikshit Maharaj. If one wants to perfect the hearing process. Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshit. Shukadeva Goswami declares, Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshit, the ideal example in perfecting the hearing process is Parikshit Maharaj. How attentively he hears Bhagavatam, Krishna Katha, and how sharply he hears, and how he puts intelligent questions to his Guru, Shukadeva Goswami, and making the narration very interesting. So, in answering that, Shukadeva Goswami quotes the narration of Narada Muni and Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Narada Muni is trying to convince Yudhishthira how Lord Vishnu is equal to everyone. And he is not partial. Even in killing Hiranyakashipu and siding Prahlad, he is still not partial. That's the whole context there. We'll not go into full detail connected to our discussion today. So in this context, Hiranyakashipu was totally absorbed in Vishnu. Obsessed with the thought of Vishnu. Therefore, Narada Muni himself was very surprised. And then he made this statement. Very beautiful statement. This is in text 27, 7th canto, 1st chapter. It says, Yatha Vairanu Bandhena. The same word here also, Vaira Anubandhena. Here also Vaira Anubandhena. Two words which are used in today's verse is also used in the same verse, the Bhagavatam, by Narada Muni. Yatha Vairanu Bandhena. Here also, here we see Harer Vairanu Bandhakrit. Then Martyas tat mayatam yat. Tat mayatam. Here also it is used here. Apashyat tanmayam jagat. Tanmayam is always thinking of Vishnu, Krishna. Tanmayam. Tan means body, May means filled with Krishna, 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 Krishna. Here also, Yatha vairanu bandena martyas tanmayam yat na tatha bhakti yogena iti me nishchita matihi. Narada said, by devotional service, very revolutionary statement he has made. By devotional service, one cannot achieve such intense absorption in the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as one can through enmity toward Him. That is matihi. Iti me nishchita matihi. This is my determined opinion. This is my conviction. This is my declaration. This is my opinion. And this is Narada's declaration opinion. And how can we deny that? So Narada Muni is saying, what the demons, how the demons can absorb their mind in Krishna to that extent and intensity, even as a devotee or even devotional service cannot offer. That kind of intense absorption. All glories to the demons. Not all demons. There are atheistic demons like the modern day scientists or even those who don't believe God. But here Kamsa believes God, Krishna, God, Krishna. Shishupal, Dantavakra, Hiranyakashipu, these are special demons. Their subject matter is Krishna. Their object is Krishna. Their goal is Krishna. Their means is Krishna. Somehow, although unfavorable. So, there is one very nice example Narada Muni himself gives in this regard. In the next verse, he says, just like a grass worm which is forced to confine itself into the hole of a wall by the attack of a bee. When a bee starts targeting a grass worm, it very hurriedly moves into a hole of a wall to save itself. But all the time, this grass worm is intensely visualizing, thinking, seeing this bee out of fear. Intensely absorbed in the thought of the bee out of fear. Because of which that grass worm eventually becomes a bee next life. Because of its absorption in the bee. So, Prabhupada says in the translation, Narada Muni says, a grass worm confined in a hole of a wall by a bee always thinks of the bee in fear and enmity, and later becomes a bee simply because of such remembrance. Similarly, if the conditioned souls somehow or other think of Krishna, who is Satchidananda Vigraha, they will become free from their sins. Whether thinking of Him as their worshipable Lord or as an enemy, because of constantly thinking of Him, they will regain their spiritual bodies. So Narada Muni is saying they will attain their spiritual body, Vaikuntha body. This is indeed the power of remembering Krishna, Krishna Smaranam. And Prabhupada says the best way of remembering God is by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But this was personally recommended and showed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Krishna himself. Therefore, one should take this Hare Krishna mantra with utmost seriousness and with no other alternative. This is the recommendation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If one is intelligent, one will take this recommendation. Because who can be more intelligent than God? Who can be more knowing than God? And who can propose the best method to attain God than God Himself? And that God, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has himself recommended, just chant Hare Krishna. If you're convinced about this statement, you're a fortunate soul. You're a fortunate soul. To get that conviction, we have to beg for the mercy of Mahaprabhu. We have to beg, we have to pray, we have to cry. Then only, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself says, a pioneer in Krishna consciousness, he himself prays. Actually, he begs. Bhaktivinoda Thakur directly says, I begged for the holy name, and Lord Chaitanya delivered this mantra to me. And I received it from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that mantra was the Hare Krishna mantra. And we are fortunate to come in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's parampara. By the grace of Prabhupada, we are getting that same mantra. So, now one may wonder, so I can also be a demon and be greatly Krishna conscious, and Narada Muni has spoken about this. So from today, Krishna is my greatest enemy. From today, I have made up my mind, Krishna is my enemy, Krishna is my competitor. No. The Acharya Prabhupada clarifies. Actually, it was out of great humility that Narada Muni has made this statement that demons are better than him in their devotion, in their absorption in Krishna consciousness. Out of great humility. Devotees are very, very humble by nature. How much humble? Actually, you cannot describe their humility. If you are actually a devotee, if you're not a devotee, it's a different thing. If you're practicing devotee, it's a different thing. So we are all neophyte devotees. We're practitioners, sadhakas we are. I'm not talking about sadhakas like us. We're talking about perfectional devotees like Narada, Gopis, Goswamis. Ideal in this regard is Goswamis, as far as humility is concerned. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one place he says, rather he sings. There's a beautiful song called Gopinath. He has composed. 3 parts are there. So one stanza from the part 1. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Amiki doshe done asura sakala pailo charana. Asura sakala pailo charana. Oh my Lord, asura sakala, all demons, pailo charana, have attained your feet, your pada, your charana. Amiki doshe, I am such a offender, sinful soul, full of faults. That Vinoda Thakilo Bosi, I remained here in this earth when all the demons have delivered and have reached your lotus feet. I have remained in this world. Therefore, who can be a greater demon than me? Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. See this humility? But we become disturbed when we are found fault with, somebody criticizes. And here we see actually like Bhaktivinoda Thakur saying, I am the greatest of all demons, he is declaring. Because demons have gone back to God. And I have remained here. One such demon is me, like that he is saying. It's very difficult. Krishnadas Karunya Goswami, it's a big story. I think we don't have time. He says, Puri Shere Kita, Haite Muni se Lagishta, Jagai Madai Haite Muni se Papishta. I am more sinful than Jagai Madai, he says. They are actually better than me. Jagai Madai were the greatest of demons in the 15th century. But he's saying, actually, they have not analyzed me, unfortunately. Unfortunately, they have declared Jagai Madai as the greatest demons. If they would have analyzed me, then the world would have known I am the greatest demon and asura. I am the greatest sinful man. Krishnadas Karunya Goswami is thinking like that. See this humility. Doesn't mean that Jagai Madai becomes greater than Krishnadas Karunya Goswami. Doesn't mean that demons are, doesn't mean that literally Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a demon. This is their humility. This is their thinking, their bhavana. Genuinely, they are feeling lowly in the presence of the Lord. And they, in that state of utmost humility, they just want to serve the lotus feet of Krishna favorably. So the conclusion is, it is not that we should become a demon. That's not the recommendation. Rupa Goswami clearly says, one should serve Krishna favorably, not unfavorably. But the case what is taken up here is to show the power of Krishna, the beauty of Krishna particularly, that even if you think him in an inimical way, somehow or other, if you think of Krishna, you will be liberated. Krishna will purify you. Krishna is so merciful. Therefore, it's called Dina Dayal. Karuna Mayi. It's called Dina Dayal, ocean of mercy. Patit Pavan, so many names are there. Deliverer of the fallen, most fallen souls, like that. So even if you think of Krishna unfavorably, still you become liberated. Then how much a devotee will be benefited also has to be considered. This is what Shukadeva Goswami analyzes in the later chapters of the same canto. If demons are getting liberated from the cycle of birth and death, from all their sins, should there not be a difference between devotees and demons? Devotee and non-devotee? Therefore, 2 points are there. One thing is, somehow or other, if you remember Krishna, you are benefited. This brings about Krishna's glory. The second part is, if demons can get liberation, how much Krishna will offer to his bhaktas who serve him favorably, taking all the risk in their life. So certainly, there will be a difference. Therefore, Prabhupada says, superficially, the demons are merged into the body of Krishna, and the devotees are accepted into the association of Krishna in Krishna Loka. So that benediction Krishna offers to his devotees, that they can take part in Krishna Leela. They will become associates of Krishna and Krishna Leela. And this Krishna consciousness movement is set up for that purpose. Prabhupada says repeatedly. It is just not some mantra which we are chanting, not some naivedyam which we are offering, where all these things will lead to. Not just simply sitting and hearing some lecture. Where all these things are going to lead to, that we should be very conscious about. If we sincerely and seriously do hearing Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavatam, chanting and all these things, one day, by the grace of Prabhupada, we will also enter into the Leela of Radha and Krishna. That is the goal of our devotional activities and the offer of this Krishna consciousness movement to the world. I'll stop here. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we will be having Shila